Ask if he wants to cross, right? Okay. I will. Mark. There you go. Right when he wants to.
Morning and welcome. Please, everyone, be seated. It's my very great honor and pleasure to welcome all of you to the 2003 commencement ceremonies for the Emory University School of Law. This is a great day of celebration, one for which all of you, particularly those of you in the class of 2003, have been long anticipating and waiting for. And it's a great day for all of us. Even nature seems to be shining on us. We know you've all worked hard to get where you are today, and we're here to celebrate your accomplishments. I'd like to say a few words of appreciation to several of the people who have already played a huge role in this proceeding. I'd like to thank our two faculty marshals, Professors Brubaker and Schreiber, for leading the students through the morning presentation. I'd like to thank our student marshal, Rebecca Kramer, for carrying our standard and coming up on the platform to receive the degree symbolically on behalf of all of you from President Chase. I'd also like to mention a couple of our students who have served in our armed forces in the Middle East. One of them, Josiah Bancroft, is of the class of 2004, and while this would not have been his graduation day, I'd like us to remember him. The second is Joe Benz of this year's class of 2003. We had thought that Joe would not be able to be with us. Joe was called up about halfway through the semester, and we frantically made arrangements for him to download all the information he needed to finish his research paper somewhere out in Kuwait, which he did. He went off with his Gilberts, with his case books and his Rich Freer tapes, I'm sure. To study diligently, we have Joe's family here to be guests of honor, but last night Joe got back from Kuwait and is with us today. So Joe, would you please stand? And Joe's family, please stand up. Be recognized. Well, Joe's story is obviously the big feel-good story of today, but the fact of the matter is that each one of our graduates is a feel-good story. There are no losers today, only winners. I know all of you sat there in August of your first year wondering if you'd make it to this day, wondering what all those torts and contracts and civil procedures and personal jurisdictions were about. Well, now it all seems to make sense, and you've all reached the end of your long journey. So we're delighted, as I say, to have you with us today to graduate with all your families and loved ones. And just as we've welcomed Joe back from Kuwait, we hope as you, like other Emory Law classes, spread all over the country and is increasingly all over the world, that from time to time you will make it back to be with us again. Now, I know it's going to get hot here, so I don't want to dally too long. You're not here to see me, you're here to see these folks. So we'll move on with our program. Our first speaker today is David Edelman of the class of '89, who's the president of the Association of Emory Alumni, an association that he'd like to welcome the class of 2003 into. David?
Good morning and greetings from the Emory Law Alumni Association. It's only been a few minutes since you've been conferred with the rights and privileges as graduates, and it'll be about 24 hours from now. Tomorrow you'll be receiving a letter in the mail from the Alumni Association asking you to give $250 to our upcoming capital campaign. It's a joke. The good news is you'll get priority seating for the Emory Law football games if you participate this year. Seriously, and I'll be very brief, at this morning's main commencement, I spoke for a few minutes with Professor Mark Miller about what it takes to make a great law school like Emory's Law School. And he answered the question with one word: people. And the people that it takes to make Emory great are the students, the faculty and staff, and the alumni. You've already given so much to the law school over the past 3 years, and I think the law school has given much to you. I'll leave you with this. I ask you, as young alumni, and in the many years to come, to continue to give your time, your energy, and most importantly, your loyalty to this law school. I assure you that if you continue to give in that way, this law school will continue to give to you. I congratulate you and wish you the very best. Thank you.
Thank you, David. Now I'd like to ask Allison Elko, who's chair of the third-year gift committee, to come and present the class's gift to the university. Allison.
Actually, I would like to invite the 3L class committee to come on up here with me. So all you members, come on up. Good morning, and congratulations to the class of 2003. I'm Allison Elko, and this year I had the pleasure of serving as a 3L class committee chair. It is an honor to stand before you here today, armed with my Emory Law leather portfolio. Nice, huh? Graduates, this is your last opportunity to buy one. I promise this is the last opportunity I get to harass you. But in continuing with the tradition, the students standing here with me today created the 3L class committee. Our mission was to bring our class and the Emory Law community closer together in celebration of our last year. Throughout the year, we hosted numerous social events, including a class dinner, a carnival, and disorientation, Emory Law's Senior Week. The 3L class committee has also been raising funds for a gift to Emory Law, which will benefit students for years to come. This leather portfolio fundraiser was just one of several projects. This year's class gift is a contribution to the Loan Repayment Assistance Program, affectionately nicknamed by the students as the Good LRAP. Organized by a committee of students, alumni, and staff, this program will enable Emory Law students to pursue careers in public interest. For many graduates, student loans limit these job opportunities. The average Emory Law graduate is $72,000 in debt, and while the average starting salary in the public sector is less than $34,000. LRAP can help lighten this financial burden so graduates can achieve their professional goals and serve their fellow man. Donations made this year by the class of 2003 faculty and staff were matched by the university and by a very benevolent alumnus, Terry Walsh, a 1970 graduate of Emory Law. I am thrilled to announce that over 68% of the class of 2003 has contributed to our gift. These charitable donors are listed in today's commencement program. Together, we have raised a record amount for the law school. At this time, I would like to present the check. In front of us. I would like to present a check in the amount of $27,453 to Emory Law's Loan Repayment Assistance Program. And this is with all student gifts and pledges without matches. This gift, matched by the university and Mr. Walsh, will have a total impact of $72,422. There are a few special people that I would like to quickly acknowledge who helped make this all possible. First, I would like to thank Mr. Walsh for his extremely generous support. I would like to recognize the Emory Annual Fund for their sponsorship of the Class of 2003 t-shirt. I would also like to express my deep, heartfelt gratitude to the Office of Relations and Development. Taylor, Martha, Roseanne, Marilyn, and Carolyn, we could not have done this without you. And of course, Celeste Katz, our beloved registrar. Like everything you do for Emory Law students, your dedication to the 3L Class Committee has been outstanding. None of us would be here today if it wasn't for your encouragement and guidance. Finally, thanks to the faculty, staff, and of course, the graduates. It is your spirit and commitment to Emory Law that has made this year's class gift campaign so successful. Thank you for your generosity, and again, congratulations.
Okay. Thank you, Allison, and thanks to all the committee who worked very hard on this project, as well as to all the members of the class who gave. See, David, you don't have to send them a letter. They're way ahead of you. Now, at this time, I'd like to recognize the president of this year's Student Bar Association, David Winder, who's here for several presentations. David?
Good afternoon. On behalf of the Student Bar Association, I have 3 awards to present today. The first is the Miss Gloria Jean Fowler Award, who is named in honor of Miss Gloria Jean Fowler, who exemplifies the qualities of a member of the law school. Miss Gloria Jean Fowler spent 42 years at this university, the last 9 of which were here in this law school, serving as a manager of the law school snack bar. During this time, she was always available with a listening ear and a prayerful heart. Miss Jean left a legacy of spirit, strength, and support. This year's winner captures the true meaning behind this award. She was active with numerous groups within the law school and was present at almost every event. I don't think I ever saw her without a smile or ever walked past her without her stopping me to say hello. And this year's Miss Gloria Jean Fowler Award winner is Ashby Kent. Next, I will give out the most outstanding third-year student award. And as president of the Student Bar Association, this falls and has always fallen on our shoulders. Now, before I introduce this year's award, I want to let you know had a couple questions about presenting it this year. Typically, when the Student Bar Association asks for nominations and votes, we don't announce criteria or any qualifications for the award. We leave it up to the graduating third-year class to determine what the award should be and who deserves it the most. As a result, past introductions of the most outstanding 3L have simply highlighted their resume or academic performances. Doing this year would not do the award or the individual any justice. Instead, I will give a few impressions of Jeffrey Silver as a classmate and as a friend in this law school. Jeff Silver was one of the few individuals in the school that would not let the daily grind of law school life get the better of him. He was always walking around in a good mood, not worried about whether he'd outlined the case for today's class or about studying too hard for the next day. He was there when you needed someone to talk to. He was there when you needed someone to go out with. And even though the law school was not the most exciting 3 years of my life, Jeff Silver made it more fun than I could have imagined. Now, without any further ado, I introduce Jeffrey Silver.
Thank you, Dave, and congratulations, Asprey. Good morning, fellow graduates, faculty and the entire staff, Karen, Celeste, collective family and friends. If you cannot laugh at yourself, who can you laugh at? Who can you laugh at? Now, for me, the obvious answer is, of course, my sister. Laughter is important, and it should never be underestimated or taken for granted. This is not to say that there is no laughter in the law, but there is no doubt that it is a very intense and a very serious profession. Being a practitioner of the law has long been known to be an esteemed career choice, yet also one that is demanding, challenging, and will ask of you everything you have to give. Effort, resources, and most importantly, time. It has proven difficult for many who already practice law to flip the switch and turn off the law. It is a vocation by the very complexity of its nature that urges you to continue to grapple with questions after dark, to take clients' issues home with you, to rarely stop thinking about its parameters, and to try to find, as Professor Terrell often has, the holes within the Swiss cheese. The old saying, once a lawyer, always a lawyer, means two things to me. First, no matter where we'll go, we'll always inherently be lawyers. Be it a convenience store, a courtroom, or a casino, a hotel lobby, a house of worship, or a highway rest stop. The speech, the insight, the artwork on the walls when we were first-year students, the perspective that no coin is so thin that it doesn't have two sides. The education will always go with you unless, of course, you failed to learn it in the first place. Contracts. Excuse me. Secondly, once a lawyer, always a lawyer indicates an obligation, an actual responsibility, not just to our colleagues and society as a whole, but to ourselves as well. And what is that obligation that we owe to ourselves? I don't seem to remember the model rules stating anything about what I owe to myself. The Code of Professional Conduct, look at this thing. It's a monstrosity. It will not tell you that the older you get, the less you understand. Nowhere in here does it say that somewhere inside every old person is a young person wondering what the hell happened. Abraham Lincoln took off his top hat in 1863 and emphatically stated, "It's not the years in your life that count. It's the life in your years." You have an obligation to that life, both professionally, it's all right here, but also personally as well. The law will ask of you everything you have, but don't lose sight of the forest because of the trees. Take care of yourselves. Start reading books again that are not published by West, Aspen, or the Foundation Press. Stop scrutinizing the nutritional analysis panel on a box of cookies at the store. And next time you go out for dinner, which for many of you may be this evening, it would be wrong not to get dessert. You are the company you keep. Nurture all of your relationships with friends, non-lawyers, and especially your families, who have all sacrificed so much for all of us to be here today. Take a trip and get away when you can, whether to the other side of town or the other side of the world. Know yourself, and given your own limitations, whatever they might be, take care of yourself, whether big or small. Take Dean Hughes, for example. He might say that rewarding himself for everything he did while practicing, and now while teaching, could be as easy sometimes as scented candles, a nice Merlot, and for background music playing a 45 from Al Wilson entitled Show and Tell. He's a man in touch with life's simple pleasures. The fact is that you're not going to be able to go into Mako, Meineke, or even Grease Monkey a few months, let alone a few years from now, and say, "I don't like what I've created for myself. This isn't working too well. Do you think you can help me with this? I think I'm still under warranty." Because whoever your technician is that day, it might be me. They're going to look at you. Yeah. They're going to look at you and they're going to say, "You know, I can't help you with that one." Salvation, whatever that is for you, the law, children, religion, autonomy, seeing the Lakers finally lose, it lies within. No matter what it is, it's up to you to make time, make effort, make sacrifices and choices, and continue to do the things you love, notwithstanding all of the rigors of working within the law. Should you fail to do so, you cannot place the blame somewhere else. Now, no matter what you've done in the last 3 years, whether you were a moot court member or, like me, you are not and are as a result reading directly from this piece of paper, whether you've been busy spading for a journal, or you're thinking if I mention neutering as well, that I'm trying to quote Bob Barker from every episode of The Price is Right. No matter your job offer or your new domicile, even if you have them, it doesn't matter whether you're a graduate today or a grandparent or neither. The common denominator is still the same. Maintaining some semblance of balance between business and pleasure, between professional and personal, between work and play, is essential. Avoid getting so involved in your work that you forget where you are from, you forget how to laugh, and you forget how to live life. Because work is only a part of life. And although Shirley MacLaine and my mother might disagree, I believe you should live life, or this one anyway, to the fullest. Now, this is not hedonism at its finest, nor is it an attempt to not just push the envelope but lick it as well. I'm not advocating for anyone to go out and start chanting "trample the weak, hurdle the dead" over and over again. This isn't about pleasure as much as it's about preparation. John Wooden, a legendary college basketball coach at UCLA, famously stated, "Failing to prepare is preparing to fail." He was not talking about devising the schedule 3 years from now, nor was he referencing next year's recruits. Coach Wooden meant this season's conference schedule, this game, this very practice, right now. Failing to prepare is preparing to fail right now. When you continuously plan for the future, you kind of forget about the present. The stress, pressure, deadlines, court appearances, intricacy and density, and so many other inputs of the law. We've merely been students for the last 3 years. It will force us to plan for the future. Make sure in doing so, you don't forget about the present as well. It may sound trite, but it is true nonetheless. There is no gift like the present. The prominent American painter and illustrator Norman Rockwell produced 317 covers for the Saturday Evening Post in his 47-year association with the magazine. A recipient of the Presidential Medal of Freedom, the nation's highest civilian honor, Rockwell chronicled American culture, and his pictures are mostly humorous treatments of idealized small town and family life. Despite being extremely popular with the public, he was not respected by critics, largely because of his failure to address serious subjects. Now, it was only after Rockwell died in 1978 that his critical reputation enjoyed quite a positive reassessment. Born in New York City in 1894, brutality, racism, and sexism were an all too pervasive backdrop during Rockwell's formative years living on the Upper West Side. He envisioned, though, a comfortable, gentler, and kinder world. He employed his talents to shape reality into what he wanted it to be. Rockwell once said, "The view of life I communicate in my pictures excluded the sordid and the ugly. I paint life as I would like it to be." No matter the ups and downs, the trauma, the drama, the mental, physical, and emotional exhaustions of everyday life, Rockwell always created this warm basket of kittens. He painted what it was he wanted to see. We're all very fortunate because we, too, can create what it is we'd like to see. When you look back, whether tomorrow or 10 years from tomorrow, what is it you've created? What does the picture you've painted look like? Is it to your liking? Live life as you see it, and live well. With what's going on in the world today, deadly diseases, terrorist threats, nuclear arms sales, a weak economy, healthcare woes, Arthur Andersen Consultants, practicing law will take a lot out of us. Be sure, amidst the madness, to take a moment and enjoy what is around you today. Previous recipients of this award have spoken about giving back to your community and giving to those who are disadvantaged and to those who do not have the necessary means for the necessary means to sit where we sit today. You should absolutely strive to accomplish all of these laudable goals. But remember, be generous to yourself as well. Previous recipients have also left their respective audiences with a quote from a recognized individual to summarize their speech. I feel obligated to do the same, and although I'm not entirely versed in popular political quips, and am hence a little shy in breaking out JFK, MLK, RFK, or any other Ks for that matter, I am quite well versed in 1980s cinema. Immediately before getting naked in the bathroom and fashioning a shower mohawk, actor Matthew Broderick in the 1986 film Ferris Bueller's Day Off turned towards the camera and simply stated, "Life moves pretty fast. If you don't stop and look around once in a while, you could miss it." Don't miss it. The Declaration of Independence, which I shepherdized recently, it's still good law for the most part, it checks out all right, describes one of our inalienable rights as the pursuit of happiness. But for many attorneys, happiness has remained rather elusive. Many try to buy happiness, but remember, there's a lot more to living your life than earning a living. Lots of other fruitless attempts have been made to acquire satisfaction and fulfillment. Be good to your colleagues, your community, your country, and yourself, and the rest will fall into place. To Section E and the class of 2003, do the best you can in everything you do, professionally and personally. Work to live, and live well. It's an honor representing you. And to everyone else, thank you for sharing this great morning with us. And please, don't forget about dessert. And I'm not talking about a cheese plate or some sorbet. That's beet. Those aren't desserts. If you need assistance determining what qualifies as a dessert and what does not, ask my dad. The man plays no games there. He only eats the tops of muffins, for crying out loud. Thank you so much. God bless you, and best of luck.
Thank you. And at this time, it's my opportunity to introduce this year's Most Outstanding Professor Award. This award is given to a member of the faculty who exhibits a true love for the art of teaching. This year's award recipient is John Whitty, Jr., the Jonas Robicher Professor of Law and Ethics, Director of the Law and Religion Program, and Director of the Center for Interdisciplinary Study of Religion. He has published 100 professional articles and 12 books, and is known as one of the foremost experts in his field. Yet, despite all these accomplishments, we're still giving him the award. We're giving this award to Professor Whitty for numerous reasons. One, he's a gifted teacher and an imposing presence in the classroom. He will go the extra mile to make sure his point gets across to the students and to make sure we understand an important lesson in life. Even where his 6'4" frame is not enough, he is willing to stand on top of a desk to let all his students know that accommodation has two M's, together. But honestly, his reputation as a professor is well known throughout the law school. In fact, students feel cheated if they go 3 years without having one of his courses. This year he was so nice, he even opened up a course for 250 law students with very little work, but they got great things from him. But with all that aside, I'm trying not to take as much of your time today. Unless there are any questions, comments, or quips, I'd like to introduce the father of his daughter and his wife's husband, Professor John Whitty, Jr.
Well, thank you very much, Mr. Wender, for those kind and generous words. Thank you, distinguished graduates, for this wonderful tribute and the attendant hardware. This plaque will go on the wall as a permanent reminder to me of the fabulous class of 2003. It's a privilege to address you briefly on this day when we celebrate your great achievements over the past 3 years in the company of your families and your friends. Some of you will remember from our first-year classes together our Dutch Uncle Talks. Dutch Uncle Talks that came especially as assignments became due and final examinations began to loom. I am of Dutch extraction and avuncular by nature. You are a captive and a generous audience. And so these Dutch Uncle Talks came rather naturally to us as occasions for us to talk a bit together about the weightier matters of the law. So herewith your final Dutch Uncle Talk before you escape our jurisdiction. I don't believe I told you the story, somewhat humbling, of my good friend Brian in our first-year class in contracts together in law school. The class was taught by the Venerable Archibald Cox, of Watergate fame, a master of Socratic dialogue and repartee. Brian was a particularly gifted student. He had been trained in rhetoric and in drama at Radcliffe College. He had been a national debating champion. He had been a professional actor, even appearing for a time in a play on Broadway. So when Professor Cox called on Brian to recite the case in contracts, Brian held forth with considerable aplomb. Cox, of course, had only begun his interrogation. He began to press his line of questions a bit more closely, and Brian found that the answers did not fall nearly so easily off his tongue. Cox became more insistent, now lashing out his Socratic whip with increasing alacrity and increasing accuracy. Brian became more and more confused. Cox became more and more insistent. And finally, as the questions overwhelmed him, Brian summoned up the little courage he had left, pulled himself up, looked Professor Cox straight in the eye, and repeated a line from his drama days. "Sir, I am afraid I am teetering on the edge of the abyss of my ignorance." Cox's reply was instantaneous. "Young man, you fell into that abyss some time ago." Well, 3 years ago, you, like Brian, stood teetering on the edge of the abyss of your ignorance of the law. Some of you fell in to that abyss of ignorance. Some of you jumped in. Some of you were pushed in by me or by one of my colleagues. You all spent a little time down there in that abyss of ignorance of the law. This was an essential first step in your legal education. Ignorance is a preface to wisdom. Frustration is the engine of industry. Failure is the first step to success. And that's what we are trying to teach you back there in that first year in those endless Socratic colloquies and conversations together when it was all question and no answer. Well, in the course of these 3 years, you have learned that this abyss has a firm bottom, that it has handholds and footholds for the strong and the determined to climb out. Some of you bounced out rather briskly. Others of you spent a bit more time down there in the abyss of ignorance of the law. But that you are here today is testimony to the great fact that you have shown the intelligence, the capacity, and the tenacity to come forth from the abyss of ignorance of the law and now stand ready to scale the soaring heights of a successful legal career. We professors, assembled before you in our best bathrobes, have tried to impart to you by instruction and by example some of what you will need to succeed. We have tried to teach you the black letter rules and tools of public, private, criminal, and international law, the craft and the power of legal science, the art and the architecture of legal advocacy and legal argument, the ethics and ethos of legal professionalism. These ancient accoutrements of the law will serve you well in whatever you do. Refine these rudimentary legal tools and legal talents that we have given you. Steep yourself in legal learning. Go beyond your peers. Go beyond your professors. Always do a little more than you have to as you prepare for your negotiation, for your argument, for your closing, for your first Supreme Court case. Always strive to reach one higher rung on the long ladder of the law. But true success as a legal professional requires more than simply the refinement of legal skills. More importantly, it requires the cultivation of the norms and the habits of civility and nobility, which are the timeless trademarks of our legal profession. For all of its Hollywood caricatures, for all of its current excesses, for all of those bad lawyer jokes, the legal profession is at heart a noble profession, a democratic aristocracy, as Alexis de Tocqueville once called it, a priesthood of civility, as Thurgood Marshall later wrote. You are now an officer of our courts, charged with the task of maintaining our system of justice and equity, of vindicating the rights and liberties, privileges, and immunities of your fellows. You are now a trustee of the legal tradition, called to the great task of maintaining the great American experiment of pursuing life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness in a society dedicated to the rule of law. And you are a steward of our public life, called to demonstrate and to facilitate the virtues of education and learning, civility and humanity, integrity and industry, compassion and charity, which every society will need. All of the great questions of theology and philosophy, society and culture must come to law for their resolution, Oliver Wendell Holmes Jr. once wrote. You will be expected to reach a just resolution of these questions in your briefs and in your arguments, in the statutes and the judicial opinions that you will write, and in the books and the articles that we expect you to deliver. How will you achieve this lofty calling of a lawyer? Most of all, by being yourself. 3 years ago, we handpicked you out of a pool of some 4,000 highly qualified applicants because of who you are and what you will become. Today we send you on your way, parchment in hand, because of who you are and what you have become. So be yourself. Do not put on airs. Do not deal in pretensions. Do not doubt yourself. Do not delude yourself. Do not dilute yourself. Do not question the reasoned choice that you came to 3 years ago to come to the law. Be the noble legal officer, steward, and trustee that we have seen in you all along. I had the privilege of addressing a good number of you the first day of criminal law 3-odd years ago. Some of you are a little nervous. A few of you sat cowering on pins and needles, wondering whether this was the ill day on which you would be called upon to answer to Socrates. On that day, I repeated to you a little sermon that my Professor Cox gave to my class the first day, and that sermon merits repetition again for you here. Cox said to us, and I say to you, many of you have come to the law with lofty ideals of doing justice and fighting injustice. I applaud you I salute you. I also warn you. In the course of the next few years, you will be tested in the faith and the fortitude of your vision and ideals more than any other time in your life. You will be tempted by skepticism, by cynicism, by materialism, even by outright nihilism. I have seen many great persons succumb to these temptations within law school and beyond. I give you one final instruction. Whatever you do, do not sell your vision, do not sell your ideals, do not sell your faith, do not sell your soul to the law. God bless you and prosper you on this great day and in your great legal career ahead. Thank you for the tribute.
Thank you, all of you who've made these excellent speeches, Jeff, Professor Whitty, and David Winder for bringing them to us, and also congratulations to Ashby. Now, we've waited a long time, and I think it's time to stop waiting. It's time for some parchments to be distributed, and we're going to award the diplomas now. We're also going to do the hooding. Professor Whitty is going to help and do some of the hooding over here. Our excellent Assistant Dean for Records, Celeste Katz, is standing guard over the diplomas. Our Assistant Dean for Student Affairs, Jen Matthews, will read the names, and I will hand you the parchments. Shall we?
Dean Arthur, I present to you the candidates for the degree of Master of Laws. Martin Dressel. Rebecca Mara Grayson. Maria Salazar Jeans. Yatunde Oluwatoyin Kupalokun. Alexander George Lefko. Christina Maria Milan. Jacob Wolfgang Reinhardt. Dean Arthur, I present to you the candidates for the degree of Doctor of Law. Lindsay Lee Abate. David Michael Abercrombie. David will be hooded by his father, Melvin Abercrombie, Florida State University, 1975. Julie Amanda Adams. Athanasios Eftimios Agalakopoulos, with honors. Michael Adam Agranoff. Kelly Lynette Alexander. Kelly will be hooded by her stepfather, Sam Dockery, University of North Carolina, 1975. Philip William Allegramento III. James Manning Andrews. Alexander Harry Ansari. Gordon Spencer Appel, with honors. Gordon will be hooded by his friend Kitty Cohen, University of North Carolina, 1985. Simon Benjamin Auerbach, with honors. Danny Mahir Audi. Dina Christine Balmer. Dina will be hooded by her father, Norman Balmer, George Washington University, 1973. Eric Freestead Barton. Brooke Michelle Berelick. Charles Adam Bassinger. Jason Michael Beach, with honors. Brent Alkai Beck. Edward Joseph Benz III. Michael Raymond Bergman. Michael will be hooded by his father, Thomas Bergman, University of Cincinnati, 1978. Jeremy Todd Berry. Jeremy will be hooded by his brother, Michael Berry, University of North Carolina, 2000. Andrea Marie Boer, with high honors. Lisa A. Bordoff, with honors. Lisa will be hooded by her mother, Nanette Bordoff, St. John's, 1978. Mario Damian Breedlove. Mario will be hooded by his mentor, Tim Williams, University of Michigan, 1993. Kevin Andrew Brown, with honors. Kevin will be hooded by his father, Anthony Brown, University of Miami, 1973. Rebecca Ellen Brooke. Carly A. Capello. Carly will be hooded by her sister, Alana Capello, University of Florida, 2000. Sebastian Caputo. Matthew S. Carrico with honors. Price Hugh Carroll with honors. Marcus Jamil Carter. Marcus will be hooded by his wife, Corey Michelle Carter, Emory, 2002. Alex Che Chang. Alex will be hooded by his sister, Vaughn Chang, Emory, 1998. Mary Elizabeth Chappell. Jim Chingha Chen. Jim will be hooded by his mentor, the Honorable William A. Cassidy, Cleveland Marshall, 1980. Richard Demeyer Chotard. Eric Todd Kaufman with honors. Erica Hillary Cohen. Erica will be hooded by her mentor, Professor David Biederman. Neil Stephen Cohen with honors. Neil will be hooded by his mentor, Carolyn Bregman, Emory, 1982. Ryan Christopher Compton with honors. Ryan will be hooded by his father, Gregory Compton, Cincinnati, 1985, and his grandfather, Robert Compton, Salmon P. Chase College of Law, 1963. Linda Marie Corneliuson. Lindsay Allison Couch. Matthew J. Christie with honors. Melanie Amber Cunningham. Michael Francis Daly. Jessica Lynn Diangio with honors. Robert Julian Daniel. Rob will be hooded by his mother, Karen Neal Knight, Georgetown University, 1976. Melissa Jane Davey. Lakeisha Charmaine Duckett. Tiffany Williams Easton. Tiffany will be hooded by her father, David Easton, University of Wisconsin, 1975. Jason Richard Edgecombe with honors. Walter Allen Edmiston III, with honors. William John Eisenman, Jr., with honors. Joseph Daniel Eisenstadt, with high honors. Joe will be hooded by his father, David Eisenstadt, Boston University, 1967, and his sister, Julie Stevens, New England, 1995. Allison Marie Elko. Allison will be hooded by her mentor, the Honorable C. Ray Mullins, University of Toledo. Shelley Jacobs Ellerhorst, with honors. Jason Charles Ewart, with high honors. Jason will be hooded by his father, Stephen Ewart, DePaul, 1977. Shelley Diane Falk. Shelley will be hooded by her mentor, Joseph A. Carragher Jr., Seton Hall University, 1960. Peter Glenn Fisher. Peter will be hooded by his friend and mentor, Arch Y. Stokes, Emory, 1970. Daniel Alexander Fleeman, with honors. Sean Patrick Flynn, with honors. Sean will be hooded by his friend, Deborah Klein, Tulane University, 1998. Christopher Ryan Forwood, with honors. Chris will be hooded by his father, John Forwood, University of Wyoming, 1976. Sarah Brooke Fox. Sarah will be hooded by her mother, Paula Fox, New England, 1972. Andrew Joshua Frank, with honors. Andy will be hooded by his friend, Elizabeth Antonikakis, Emory, 1998. Annette Marie Freeman. Elizabeth Ann Fry, with honors. Sean Derek Gage. Jennifer Denise Hayada. Elizabeth Dahlia Gieslin. Mirna Jaha. Gabrielle Nicole Gentlecore. Gabrielle would be hooded by her uncle, Richard Sokolov, Georgetown University, 1974. Joshua M. Glasser, with honors. Rachel Elizabeth Gleason. Rachel will be hooded by her uncle, Robert C. Gleason, William and Mary, 1986, and her fiancé, Tim George, Harvard, 2002. Sarah Ann Grant. Sarah will be hooded by her father, John Grant, University of Georgia, 1979. Laura L. Green, with honors. Mary Ayres Lewis Griggs. Mary Ayres will be hooded by her husband, Richard Griggs, Mercer University, 1995. Jennifer Page Hall. Jessica K. Harris. Melissa Nicole Hawkins. Megan Farragon Healy, with honors. Megan will be hooded by her fiancé, Jess Robert Anglin Jr., Lewis and Clark, 2001. Ronit Hoffer. Ronit will be hooded by her father-in-law, Stephen Schwartz, Syracuse University, 1969. Ashley Sarah Hoheimer, with honors. David Clayton Holloway. Clay will be hooded by his wife, Sarah Holloway, Emory, 2001. Evan Hughes Howell. Lori Melissa Hughes, with honors. Lauren Michelle Hunt, with honors. Lauren will be hooded by her brother, Ryan Starks, Georgia State University, 1998. Elisa Ann Huteron, with honors. Elisa will be hooded by her mother, Chris Watruba, Arizona State University, 1974. Tammy Lynn Imhoff. Marianne Giuliano, with honors. Jeremy R. Jessen. C. Spencer Johnson III, with high honors. Spencer will be hooded by his friend Charmaine Williams, Georgetown University, 2000. Eric Robert Johnson II. Eric will be hooded by his fiancée, Kenya Kirkendall, Georgia State University, 1998. Lakeisha Elena Johnson. David Michael Joyle. Jennifer Lee Jung. Tal A. Kadar, with honors. J. Summer Kalwani. Samir Kapoor. Joshua Michael Katz. David McGinnis K. Carolyn Alice Keller, with honors. Carolyn will be hooded by her boyfriend, Sean Conway, Stanford University, 2001. Ashby Lee Kent, with honors. Ashby will be hooded by her father, A. Martin Kent, Mercer University, 1966. Dana Catherine Kent. Valerie Hannah Katay. Valerie will be hooded by her mother, Evelyn Katay, Georgetown University, 1978, and her father, Michael Katay, University of Virginia, 1965. Danielle Janine Kiewalk. Melissa Ann Klein, with honors. Lauren Michelle Cohn. Tracy Michelle Kornhauser. Matthew Philip Kovaci. Tobias Kretschmar. Rebecca Naomi Kramer, with high honors. Rebecca will be hooded by her mentor, Diane Flannery, University of Virginia, 1991. Michelle Roback Kranak. Michelle will be hooded by her brother, Harry Roback, Vanderbilt University, 2001. Adrian Diane Kurtanik. Zeva Rachel Kushner. Zeva will be hooded by her grandfather, Martin Dash, Columbia University, 1949. Anne Banta Kustoff, with honors. Victor Ming-Chun Lee. J. Jason Lang, with honors. Jason will be hooded by Jenny Mangum, Emory, 2002. Daniel Robert Leibovic. Harry Lee. Sarah Michelle Liner. Sarah will be hooded by her brother, Harris Liner, University of Richmond, 2001. Tara Frances Lenich. Amanda Brooke Lewis. Eric Jason Lubachinsky. Eric will be hooded by his father, Charles Lubachinsky, Buffalo, 1971. Kareem Aziz Madison. Matthew John Malinowski. Matthew will be hooded by his father, Leonard Malinowski, University of Detroit, 1973. Preston Scott Manning. Scott will be hooded by his brother, William Edward Manning, University of North Carolina, 1991. Nicole Denise Marchand. Nicole will be hooded by her mentor, Gwen Keyes, Emory, 1993. Kurt James Martin. Gregory L. Mast, with honors. Greg will be hooded by his father, Joseph W. Mast, Brooklyn, 1974. Carrie Lee Smetzer Mast, with honors. Nada Matar, with honors. Leslie Maddox Mathis, with honors. Leslie will be hooded by her mentor, Bill Klybon, Emory, 1986. Craig McCara. Craig will be hooded by his father, Bernard McCara, Cornell University. Thomas DuBose McClure, Jr. Marley Ann McDonnell, with honors. Karen L. McKee. Brian Robert Meyer. Claire C. Michaud. Leslie Michelle Miller, with honors. Stephanie Gerson Mintz, with honors. Stephanie will be hooded by her father, Herbert Gerson, Emory, 1973. Amina Aziz Mirza. Jennifer Lynn Moore, with honors. Jennifer will be hooded by her mentor, Bill Plybon. Caroline Suzanne Coursant Morris, with honors. Joya Lavette Morrison. Anjali Mullik. Virginia Montine. John McClung Nading, with honors. Joshua Franklin Naylor. Bradley Todd Neiman. Bradley will be hooded by his father, Dennis Neiman, Northwestern University, 1970. Todd Ryan Nissenholtz. Kristen Nissenholtz Zimmerman. Todd Ryan Nissenholtz. Todd will be hooded by his father, David Nissenholtz, University of Missouri, 1971. Kristen Nissenholtz Zimmerman with honors. Kristen will be hooded by her father, David Nissenholtz. Chentan Vijay Panchal. Chentan will be hooded by his mentor, Professor Robert Audier. Vicky Papanikolaou. Vicky will be hooded by her mentor, Professor Johan van der Vijver. Ragi Soma Patel. George Morgan Patterson. George will be hooded by his sister, Christine Patterson Remy, Georgetown University, 1995. Bernadette D. Polina. Bernadette will be hooded by her mentor, Brian Panassa, Georgia State University, 1998. Catherine Foynes Pope, with honors. Katie will be hooded by her father, John Pope, Stetson University, 1970. Matthew Kevin Powers.
Donna, I'm right here.
Spencer Frederick Price, with honors. Spencer will be hooded by his father, Fred Price, Louisiana State University, 1974. Srinath Kota Reddy. Laura Jean Kennard Reese. Laura will be hooded by her mother, Rebecca Kennard Reese, Southern University, 1990, and her father, B. Scott Reese, Louisiana State University, 1972. Jason Brett Rabinovitz. Craig Brandon Rule. Craig will be hooded by his friend Mark Pimlett, University of Detroit, 1980. Keith Jordan Scherer, with high honors. Heidi Ann Schweikart. Margaret Ward Scott, with honors. Margaret will be hooded by her brother, James E. Ward IV, Vanderbilt University, 1992. Michael Jeremy Scott. Alexis Kaufman Siegel. Michelle Marie Sikowski, with honors. Daniel Felix Shea. Amanda Mays Shelton, with honors. Jeffrey Adam Silver. Jeff will be hooded by his father, Jack Silver, University of Denver, 1972. Marnie Jessica Singer. Jeff A. Sipos, with honors. Tracy Rachel Slavens. Sarah A. Smith. Sarah will be hooded by her brother-in-law, Thomas Tolan, Catholic University, 1997. Schumann Sorn. Jason Edward Stack, with honors. Sequoia Stalder, with honors. David Thomas Stevenson. Lee Elizabeth Stevens, with honors. Lee will be hooded by her father, Thomas C. Stevens, Duke University, 1974. Arathi Thangam Subramaniam. Ram Chandra Sumkara. Ram will be hooded by his mentor, Bill Cliburn. Ryan Joseph Sapanek. Anne Frances Thomasma. Dustin R. Thompson. Abdul Ramon Tooks. Heath Brandon Turner, with honors. Nahal Shailish Upadhyay. Jamie B. Vidaklis. Jamie will be hooded by her mother, Eileen Agnes, Suffolk University, 1981. Breon Kristen Walker. Trenton Andrew Ward. Michael Lawrence Weiss, with honors. Michael will be hooded by his mother, Eileen Pallas, University of Arizona, 1989. Stephen J. Weissman. David Allen Wender. David will be hooded by his mentor, Sam Chalkin, Emory, 1974. Amanda Marie Williams. Anidra S. Williams. Anidra will be hooded by her aunt, Pamela D. Perdue, University of Georgia, 1983. Brett Brian Williams. Brett will be hooded by his sister, Charmaine Williams. Hong Swing Wills, with honors. Anthony Woods, with honors. Benjamin Michael Wright. Christos George Yatrakis. Christos will be hooded by his brother, Dimitri Yatrakis, Fordham University, 1999. Stacy Eileen Young. James Zachary Zimmerman. Dean Arthur, I present to you the candidates for the degrees of Doctor of Law and Doctor of Philosophy. Paula Galito Shackleton, with high honors. Chad Dwayne Wilson, with honors. Chad will be hooded by his father, Ron Wilson, Woodrow Wilson, 1978. Dean Arthur, I present to you the candidate for the degrees of Doctor of Law and Masters of Arts. Angela Joyce Ricchetti. Dean Arthur, I present to you the candidates for the degrees of Doctor of Law and Master of Theological Studies. Erin Rochelle Engelbrecht, with honors. Autumn Jolie Fourie. Elizabeth Amy Marini. Elizabeth will be hooded by her mentors, Michael Kennedy McIntyre, University of North Carolina, 1979, and Victoria Smith, University of Tennessee, 1999. Catherine Riskevich Parsons. Catherine will be hooded by her father, Phil Parsons, New England, 1988. Jimmy Rock, with honors. Jimmy will be hooded by his friend, Chris Crane, Harvard, 1984, and Dean Arthur, I present to you the candidates for the degrees of Doctor of Law and Master of Public Health. Kelly Ann Friedgen, with honors. Jennifer Curley Kyle. Amy Joy Lynn Mason. Hadil Masood. Dean Arthur, I present to you the candidates for the degrees of Doctor of Law and Master of Business Administration. Matthew Cooper Baisley. Tiffany E. Carr, with high honors. Tiffany will be hooded by her brother, Sean Carr, University of Pennsylvania, 1995. Yolande Madeleine Leclerc. Yolande will be hooded by her friend, Carol Deese, Emory, 2002. And Christopher Thomas Nace. Chris will be hooded by his father, Dr. Barry J. Nace, Dickinson, 1969.
like to ask the class to stand up for one last time together, while we all recognize your accomplishments. And inasmuch as yesterday was Mother's Day, and the fact that I have my mother here as well as the mother of my two sons, I know they're mothers of many of you here today that we also should say thank you to. Will all the mothers please stand and be recognized? Are you ready to roll? Okay. Now, I hope you all remember that everyone is invited to our reception on the West Terrace at the top of these stairs, and also in Bacardi Plaza on the other side of the building. And I will ask our student marshal to please take the standard and lead first the faculty. Will follow out as we have our music, and then class of 2003 follow the faculty, and we will all go to the reception. Thank you.
the reception is? Reception. Yeah, I know, but... Where to go this way?
No, come down. Down here. You have to submit